Welcome, everyone, to the winter 2024-2025 graduation for the International Institute of Genealogical Studies. We're so excited to have you with us today and to share our students with you that are graduating and all the hard work they've done. I'd like to introduce to you our staff and members of faculty. We are well-known genealogists from around the world, authors, speakers, and professors. My name is Angela Breidenbach. I'm the Executive Director and a mentoring professor out of Missoula, Montana. Sue DeGroot is our Director of Student Curriculum, and she is out of Burlington, Ontario, Canada. Kimberly Van Dyke is our Administration and Social Media Expert, and she is out of Fairmont Hot Springs, BC, Canada. Brenda Wheeler is Director of English Studies and a mentoring professor out of Hallett Cove, South Australia. Cheryl Levy is Director of Canadian Studies and a mentoring professor, and she's out of Belleville, Ontario, Canada. Yekeskel Bund is a new mentoring professor with us, and he's co-director of DNA and genetic genealogy, and he will have some new classes that we'll be announcing later this year. Claire Bradley is also co-director of DNA and genetic genealogy, and she is the director of Irish Studies. You'll be seeing her in March at Roots Tech. Be sure to catch her talks. Morag Pierce is Director of Scottish Studies. She's working on some new courses for us in the Scottish Studies. You'll also be seeing her on the virtual version of the Roots Tech in March. Make sure to watch out and catch her talks as well. Melanie Holtz is co-director of Italian Studies. She's out of Raleigh, North Carolina. She's also sometimes out of Italy. Pamela J. Vittorio is co-director of Italian Studies, and she is out of New York, USA. Lori James is a new mentoring professor with us in methodology, and she's out of Provo, Utah. We're very proud of her. She's done continuing education. She's also a graduate, you'll see later in this event. Drew van Hasselbach is a mentoring professor at Canadian Records, and he is redoing, rewriting, and revamping quite a few of our Canadian records, and he will continue to do some more that we will announce later this year. Lisa also is a European specialist, Eastern European records. Kathy Holland is our lecturing skills consultant, and you will see her at a lot of our lecturing skills presentations where our students are learning how to do public speaking. We have consultants, virtual meeting hosts, and online teachers, and you will see many of those names repeated throughout different programs that we do each month. Welcome, graduates and guests. The characteristics of the IIGS graduates are professional, guard the truth. They work in teamwork and loyalty. They provide and protect our family histories, and they're very family oriented. They navigate through from the present into the past to help for the generations in the future. They're persistent in their work, and they are communicators, assisting our students and their clients to continue to communicate the family history, things that we don't want to be forgotten. Today marks a profound milestone in your journey as professional genealogists. As the winter 2024 and 2025 graduating class, you've put so much energy and effort into your courses. You've earned your credentials and postnominals from the world's only genealogical vocational school, the International Institute of Genealogical Studies. You're joining an extraordinary lineage of dedicated professionals who have made it their life's work to uncover and preserve humanity's stories. You've mastered the intricate skills of archival research, learned to decipher centuries-old handwriting, and develop the analytical precision needed to piece together the fragments of the past. You've earned DNA, personal historian, professional development and business skills, and expertise in countries around the globe, from Australia to Canada, the UK to Ireland, Germany to Eastern Europe, and the US. Many of you have added studies including Italy and Scotland, and in more DNA and genetic studies to find and solve cold cases. But more importantly, You've embraced the sacred responsibility of being the bridge between generations, the keepers of family histories that might otherwise be lost to time. Remember that each document you uncover, each connection you make, each mystery you solve has the power to heal family wounds, answer lifelong questions, and help people understand their place in the grand tapestry of history. Your work will bring tears of joy to those who finally discover their roots, and closure to those who have spent decades searching for answers. As graduates of the International Institute of Genealogical Studies, you've completed one of our 14 rigorous credential programs. You have arrived. But we all know the field of genealogy and technology are always evolving. Through your accomplishments, they are mighty, and the excellence, it's a continuous journey. I'm thrilled to share with you for this very first time before anyone else that we're about to launch an exciting new specialty studies program. This program will begin with International Military Studies, where each student will be paired with a dedicated mentoring professor for a one-on-one guidance throughout their studies. In the coming weeks, we'll be unveiling more details about this and more specialty fields. As our newest alumni, you are the first to know about this groundbreaking addition to our curriculum. The world needs your expertise, now more than ever. And in an age where people yearn to understand their heritage and identity, to feel deeply connected and rooted, you hold the keys to unlocking these precious answers. Go forth with confidence, knowing that your vocational training has prepared you for the real-world challenges of professional genealogy. May you approach each case with curiosity, each client with compassion, and each discovery with the excitement that first drew you to this field. The past is waiting to be discovered, and you are now equipped to be its finest explorers. We're excited for you and proud that you represent the International Institute of Genealogical Studies. Congratulations, winter class of 2024 and 2025, and thank you for choosing this noble profession. We look forward to welcoming you back for advanced studies, continuing education, and supporting your growth in the years ahead. We are thrilled to call you graduates of the International Institute of Genealogical Studies. Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. Tiffany Barnett of Winnipeg, Manitoba has earned her DNA and genetic genealogy certificate with distinction. Next, we have Ken Black of Wellington, Florida, United States, who has earned his PLCGS in American Records. He has previously earned the DNA and genetic genealogy certificate. A genealogist with 30 years experience, Ken combines academics and dedication in his research. His specialties include family history and DNA analysis. He also helps adoptees reconnect with their birth families. Ken plans to further his expertise in DNA and genetic genealogy. His business title is Ancestry Life, and you can find him at ancestrylife.com. Next, we have Lucinda Bowker Brown.
Just one moment.
There it is. Thank you, Angie. And she's from Dover, New Hampshire, United States, and she's earned her DNA and genetic genealogy certificate. Lucinda has been a genealogist since 1994 and has been working with genetic research for the past 10 years. Lucinda helps others discover their heritage using DNA analysis. Randall First of Nunica, Michigan, United States, has earned his DNA and genetic genealogy certificate with distinction. He has previously earned his PLCGS in American Records and has also completed the Professional Learning Certificate. Randall has been working on genealogy for over 30 years as a hobby and professionally for the past 10 years. He has recently retired after 41 years in working in various technical industries. Randall's plans include establishing a volunteer network with libraries and repositories in West Michigan. Next, we have Janine Gale Fisher of Edmonton, Alberta. She has earned her PLCGS in Canadian Records and has completed the Personal Historian Certificate. She has previously earned her DNA and Genetic Genealogy certificate. Janine loves history and genealogy and has taken her passion to helping others to another level. Janine plans include starting a podcast and YouTube channel called More Than an Old Photo. She will be teaching others about social history and genealogy. Over to you, Cheryl.
Next, we have Karen Henkelman of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. She has earned her DNA and genetic genealogy certificate. Her previous certificate for PLCGS is in Canadian and Irish records. Karen is pleased to add her DNA and genetic genealogy certificate to her previous certifications. Karen plans to pursue a career in the field of genetic genealogy. Next, we have Lori James of Provo, Utah, USA. She has earned her DNA and genetic genealogy certificate with distinction. Her previous certificate for PLCGS is Canadian Records with distinction. She is a professional genealogist and she is currently a mentoring professor with our institute. Next is Nancy McKenzie of Coquitlam, BC, British Columbia, Canada. She has earned her PLCGS in English records. Her previous certificate is DNA and genetic genealogy. Nancy's passion for genealogy shines through as she helps family and friends find answers to mysteries in their family history. Nancy loves to travel and speaks both French and Spanish. Nancy is currently working towards her Irish records and her personal historian certificates. Brian McLaughlin of Caves Beach, New South Wales, Australia. Congratulations. He has earned another certificate, this time his personal historian certificate. His previous ones for PLCGS are in American, Australian, Canadian, Eastern European, English, German, and Irish records, as well as the Professional Development Certificate. Brian is a retired statistician and a member of the Society of Australian Genealogists. He enjoys helping others with their genealogy research. His website is dataedgegenealogy.com. Next, we have Jeanette Martin of Marwell, Victoria, Australia. She has earned her DNA and genetic genealogy certificate with distinction. Jeanette is a professional genealogist who is dedicated to helping people find their roots. She enjoys sharing her knowledge and expertise with others. Her business name is Jeanette's Family Research Service, and her website is jfrserv.com.
Over to you, Brenda.
Next we have Louise McDonald from Stony Creek, Ontario, Canada. Her previous certificate, she has earned PLCGS in Eastern European with distinction, in addition to the DNA and genetic genealogy certificate with distinction. Previous certificate, PLCGS in Canadian records. Shortly after retiring in 2017, Louise began studying genealogy with the Institute. Her future plans include continuing her studies while focusing on her personal research. She is also exploring careers in genealogy. Larissa Northrup of Sanford, Michigan, United States, earned the DNA and genetic genealogy certificate. Previous certificates, PLCGS in American, Canadian, and English records, in addition to the Professional Development Certificate. Larissa is a genealogical speaker, Her talks include photographs, New England, the Middle Colonies, and the Midwest. Marian Rabinovich of St. Albert, Alberta, Canada, has earned her PLCGS in American Records. Her previous certificate is PLCGS in Canadian Research. Marianne has been working on her family history since the early 1990s. Her Canadian and American record certificates have helped her research immensely. Her future plans include looking forward to taking more classes and is considering the DNA and genetic genealogy certificate. James Retson of Kenora, Ontario, Canada. Have you missed a slide? And okay, I'll go on to Teresa at any rate. Teresa Riley of Taranaki, New Zealand, has earned PLCGS in English Records. Teresa is a librarian, researcher, and now a professional genealogist. Teresa shares her home with her husband, daughter, and their 2 dogs. Her future plans include continuing working with her clients and building her genealogy business, her business being Tree Stories Genealogical Research. Her website is treestories.co.nz. James Retson of Kenora, Ontario, Canada, has earned PLCGS in Canadian Records. James is the Vice Chair of Ancestor Seekers of Kenora and is the editor of Kenora History and Genealogy newsletter. His business is Kenora Assist. His website is retson.ca/kenora.pdf.
Sheila Tully of Sinclair, Wyoming, United States. She earned her PLCGS in American Records and has completed the professional development and DNA and genetic certificates as well. Mark Vink of Zurich, Switzerland, has earned the DNA and genetic genealogy certificate. Mark is passionate about genealogy. He's the global head of HSE and security for a large international company. Genealogy is one of his passions. His future plans include working on his Eastern European Records certification. That comes next. Linda Wheatley is of East Montpelier, Vermont, in the US. She earned her PLCGS in American Records. Linda is a freelance copy editor and genealogist. Her business is Sweet Mango Muse, and her website is sweetmangomuse.com. An interesting aside, she's the very first student when I took over as and we were founded as the International Institute of Genealogical Studies, that was signed up for a 40-course certification package for the American PLCGS. She's the very first student that I worked with while I was sitting in the airport in Toronto, Canada. I thought that was a fun aside to share. So congratulations, Linda Wheatley. Tricia White of Lanark, Ontario, Canada. She earned her PLCGS in Canadian Records, and Tricia enjoys doing research and working on family history. Her future plans are starting a business called Family Lines, which will begin with a blog discussing various genealogy topics. Business name, Family Lines, and her website is currently being designed. Our graduates are all listed here for you. Tiffany Barnett, Ken Black, Lucinda Brown, Randall First, Janine Gale Fisher, Karen Henkelman, Lori James, Nancy McKenzie, Brian McLaughlin, Jeanette Martin, Louise McDonnell, Larissa Northrup, Marianne Rabinovich, Teresa Riley, James Retson, Sheila Tully, Mark Vink, Linda Wheatley, and Tricia White. We're so proud of you. And we have one more announcement to you, graduates. Starting summer of 2025, the personal historian and professional development programs will become PLCGS programs once you've created the entire 40 course, and we will release all of the details to that as we get closer to it. Anyone who's graduated with a PLC, or I'm sorry, has graduated with a professional development or personal historian and a few others, as long as you meet the graduation requirements that will be listed for summer 2025, we will also make the PLCGS retroactive. So should you decide that you want to continue on the business and technology side of genealogy, that PLCGS postnominal will now be able to be put onto your resume as of summer graduation 2025. We'll give you more information and more of the credential requirements as we come closer to it. In the meantime, our specialty studies and minor program will be releasing toward the end of February, with the very first one in the specialties minor program being the international military. And we're just so glad to have you all with us to be able to continue to support genealogy worldwide, and that you have come to be a part of our International Institute of Genealogical Studies family of professional genealogists. Thank you for being with us. Please update as you spread your wings what you're doing across the globe in search of your genealogical treasures. We want to share your adventures and let others know your accomplishments. If you'd like to be featured in our blog or on an interview on our YouTube channel, we would be happy to do that with you as professional genealogists. All you need to do is send a note to me at info@genealogicalstudies.com, and we'll get in touch and get that scheduled to help promote you, your skills, your specialties, and what you're doing out in the world so that we can help you build your business as alumni. Send your name, business name, and website to info@genealogicalstudies.com. Congratulations, class of 2024.